I would take it in there, and he would just be like, "This sucks. This is out of focus. Get closer, better." And I would be like, "Oh,
It's crushing.
just no." It wasn't like nurturing, like, "Oh, it's gonna be okay." It was just more like getting beat up and just being like, I'd be like, "Damn," and then he'd be like, "Here's 3 more rolls of film," and that was always like a glimmer of hope, like, okay, I must be doing something if he's giving me 3 rolls of film. And then I'd be riding back from Hunter's Point to the Tenderloin on my bike, being like, I'm gonna fucking shoot better photos than that asshole. Like, fuck that guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was getting pissed because he was like a real, or he wouldn't even be there.
Yeah.
Like, I would go in the office and I was like, yeah, is Lance here? And like, you know, and it was just weird. Like, I feel like at that time, like, Thrasher was like an intimidating place, or High Speed.
Of course.
You know,
And it still is.
yeah,
I mean,
I'm scared to go.
The idea of it, anyway.
It is, you know, and you know, it's weird too, because like, I remember going, I was in Embarcadero, and like Mike York and Carl Watson and Shamil and all these dudes were like, hey, we're gonna go skate Studio 43. Do you want to go? And I was like, sure. And I didn't even know what Studio 43 was. And I was like, okay, let's go. I don't know what it is.
That's amazing.
So we take the bus to Army and 3rd Street, and then we get out, and then you could hear skateboarding and music. And someone's like, who's gonna knock on the door? Who's gonna knock on the door? And I was like, I'll knock on the door, because I'm like, whatever. So I knock on the door. No one's answering, and those dudes were like, kind of being timid, and I was like, what's up? So I open the door, and it's Jake bailing, or it's Jake doing a backside air, and Jake doing another backside air, and I think when I opened the door, it threw him off, and he bailed, and he's knee sliding up to me. And he's like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, I'm Joe. He's like, get the fuck out of here. And I was like, what? And it was nighttime. It was like 7 or 8, and it was dark. And then like Shamil and Mike and all those dudes would go walking in, like, they're like, later. And I was like, and they're like, hey, whatever you do, take the bus back towards downtown, not to Hunter's Point. And I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at. So I go stand in the corner, and I'm like,
HP to the TL.
yeah, and I'm just like,
brutal.
Where am I? And like, I skate like a block down the street, and I'm like standing at this bus stop, and the bus driver's like, where are you going? I was like, I need to go downtown. He's like, go on the other side of the street. You don't want to take this bus. And I was like, okay. So, you know, just, it was weird. Like, I don't know.
That's amazing that he said that, though, that he asked you, because he knew. He's like, back then, he's like, you don't want to go to HP.
I mean, some 20-year-old kid, like, hey, what's going on?
No.
There was 2 things that I think that got my foot in the door. I did a U.S. tour with Salman, Ray, Anthony Clairville, Gerwer, and this guy Bryce, and it was a Vans Firm Estee tour.
Yeah.
And we did 52 days.
Oh my gosh.
Salman took the Vans van and their gas credit card, and he's like, well, we'll set up demos, and then we'll just go skate. Do you want to go, Joe? And I quit my job. I went in and I was like, hey, like, I'm done. Like, I'm not working here anymore. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, I'm going on a skateboard tour.
And back then, it's like, you're like, okay, loser.
Yeah.
And you're like, sweet.
So we
winning.
We had nothing. They would send us tons of shoes, like at different locations where they were doing demos.
You sell them?
Yeah, we would sell them for food, or trade them for food, and trade T-shirts for food, and like we would eat a lot of Burger King, and just it was so funny because I have the funniest photos of like Gerwer sleeping on top of the van. It was like one of those luggage compartments, so we called it the taco. But we would just sleep on picnic tables on a rest stop in Mississippi. And
so you guys did that tour. You made it back alive.
Came back. So dude, crazy. We went all through the South to Florida. Salman had a wedding to go to with his wife, so his wife was there, and then we went up into New York, from New York into Michigan, and Jeff Klein was getting married. We went to Jeff Klein's wedding, and then from there we drove all the way back through the South to California. But when I got back, I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I shot a lot of film, and I remember calling Lance, because there wasn't cell phones, there was beepers, I think, then.
Yeah.
So I called Lance, and I was like, hey, I went on this trip, and I shot a lot of film, but I can't afford to get it processed. So then he was like, drop it off at the labs and use this code to get it processed. So I picked up the film, and then I went home and edited it, and then I wrote a story, and then I get a call from Lance on my answering machine, like, what the fuck? How much film did you get developed? Like, this better be good photos. And I was like,
oh shit.
I was like, oh man. And I was like, I think I got good photos. You know what I mean? I was like, I think it's a good article. And that was like, I never even had an article at the time. And then I get another call, and they're like, you need to come in the office. And I was like, oh no, like, the reprimand is coming. They're gonna be there. So I went there, and they were like super stoked on everything. And Lance was like, hey man, I'm planning to move to LA. Like, do you want to be the photo editor? And I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah.
Really?
I'm like, let's sign it up.
Wow.
So then I went upstairs and talked to Fausto, and he was just like, they told me you want to be like to do the photo editor job and blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, like for sure.
For Slap, right?
Yeah, and I didn't know what that
entailed
sure. whatsoever.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like sink or swim, and I was like, well, I'm definitely going to swim because I don't want to blow it. And so it was a trip, just like interacting with people or just meeting people. I don't know. I guess we put you guys on pedestals, but you guys were just normal humans that, you know what I mean?
Most of us are just
mere mortals,
stupid skateboarders.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's what it really comes down to, and we just lucked into a lot of shit.
I just feel like that was just like a super loose time in skateboarding where it wasn't like.
Yeah. It was because it had that resurgence happening. Like, I mean, it had the big 80s thing, and then it kind of down again, and it super changed. Like, everything changed, right? Like, really changed as far as coming from the 80s into the 90s. It was polar opposite to what it had been like before. It was proving grounds or contests. Now it was video. To turn pro, you didn't even need to go to a contest.
Yeah,
you just put your name on a board and you have a video part. And the wheels were tiny and everything just
real
shifted.
six
slow skating and just tech. And it was a really strange time. That shift in time, and when you came in, and Slap was rad because it was such a different view from Thrasher. Like, it was a different window into skating, which was, I think, cool. So you're at Slap. You're now the photo editor.
Yep.
And you're living the life in San Francisco. You arrived in SF in 91?
Yep.
Okay. And now we know you left just recently.
Yeah.
How long were you here for?
25 years and 4 months.
That's incredible. And you're still at High Speed.
Yep. Yeah.
That's incredible.
No, it's really.
What's your major role at High Speed now? Like, what do you?
I'm just a staff photographer.
Photographer.
But I don't know. I feel like I curate things, and I'm a talker, and I know people, and I just, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm like, oh, I want to do this thing, and like I get super excited about it, and then they kind of give me, the plane's taking off, and I'm building a runway before it. Like, I want to do a skate trip to Detroit with our skate artists, and I want Ray Barbie, and I want Zared Best, and I want Stefan Janowski, and I'll call the corporate companies, and I'm like, hey, this is how much our Airbnbs cost, and this is what this costs, and this is what this costs, and then I call all the skaters, and I'm like, hey, like, do you guys want to do this? And then we go do it, and it's just fun. For me, it's cool because I'm like, damn, like, you can really dream it and do it, and like, I love that, like, start to finish process, an idea that just kind of like, oh, let's do this and see if it works. And I don't know, it's like anything in skateboarding, you fall down, you get back up, you try things, and
exactly
I feel
right.
like skateboarding is a good platform for failure.
It's the best platform for failure because skateboarding is based on failure.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Do you have another hat in the car by any chance?
I don't know. Let me check. Pause.
I'm getting like fried.
Zorched. No, I don't have one, unfortunately. No hat.
Nothing?
We're hatless in Seattle.
All right, whatever. So I'm sitting like this because the sun actually came out in San Francisco and frying my face, and I don't have a hat. So anyway, so you got your High Speed. You've been there forever, and which is incredible. Let me just ask you a couple of things. When did you first meet Jake?
At Studio 43.
Okay, well, that was a pretty bad impression.
Yeah.
When did you officially meet him? Okay, like when you were hired onto High Speed, did he know that you were being hired?
He did, and
okay.
he says he's like really clever, like
sure.
things, and I was like, what? Like just about everything. He's like so quick.
And he can be very cryptic. You're like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
So I was just like, huh? Like he would say things like, oh, they got things in store for you, or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? What do you mean? I'm just like, huh?
Yeah.
But so, I mean, I feel like when I worked for Slap, I don't know if he really liked us. You know what I mean? There was, like
sure.
we were the bastard children, and
you guys are like the artsy.
Yeah, and he would come in the office and like talk shit, and like him and Mark had a funny relationship, but I think they had like a mutual respect. But like, his thing was always like, if curbs could cry, you guys, if curbs could cry, because we were emotional skaters. But I don't know, for whatever reasons, like I looked up to Jake because like what he did and what he kind of like what they were doing in skateboarding was so different from what we were doing, and I was like, damn, like those dudes are gnarly. Like I don't even know if I could hang on those trips, and now I'm like on those trips, and I'm like on the trip, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. You know what I mean? So it's different. And
yeah, when the perception of a hell ride might be a little different than the actual experience because it depends on how you approach it, right? You don't have to go all in like those dudes.
No, for sure. But for them, it's hell ride.
Yeah.
And for me, it's nerd ride.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like hanging out, like, okay, cool. And like, I don't know. It's like I'm not.
You're not have like the wizard staff.
I don't have the
know,
wizards.
you know?
Yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out, shooting photos, and just kind of like enjoying the thing. But yeah, like those dudes are on their own shit, and I totally respect that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I go on those trips, because I'm like, hey guys, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, yeah, you do you. I'll take a photo, and like if shit gets weird, I'll help out. Like whatever.
Document it. I'll make sure that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's like a good relationship, and you know, like even when we left Quito, Jake's like, dude, thanks for coming and shooting photos. It was awesome, and that's cool, man. I love that. Like that's such a cool thing. Like I feel like Jake is like, he wants to do things with his bros, and he wants to be good time skateboarding, and like just, I mean, when you see that video that comes out, the Spitfire Thrasher Hell Ride trip, or like it's just the stoke of skateboarding, and like you can talk about it till you're blue in the face, but like till you're there and shit is going down, and we got Grant and Raven and Evan Smith and like Rainey and like dude and Ronnie, and it is just like the atomic bomb being dropped, and it just like they're just going one after each other, like boom, 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 and it's like I gotta like really be like, okay, I need to shoot this photo from this way to make this look different. Like, so it's really incredible just to watch those guys skate, and it's just, you know, it's just pure raw skateboarding.
Yeah,
and
it's
everyone,
skateboarding.
I feel like they probably don't want to say it, but like everyone is so honored to be there, and I am too. I'm like, damn, I get to hang with these dudes and shoot photos and like see this, and like it's crazy. Like my phone broke, and like I always film those little fatback videos, and I couldn't even film a fatback video, and it was just so rad to like watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd shoot a photo here and there and be like, hey, could you do this again? But just watching the carnage, and you know, like Jake and Hubbard would be up at like 6 in the morning and going to the park and skating for like 3 hours before everyone got there. So it was just cool to see, like everyone's like, we're skating in the park. You know, like so half the dudes would skate, some of the van would come, and like so it's just, dude, just how real it is, it's second to none.
Yeah.
It's really impressive. I mean, I'm stoked that I'm still at Thrasher, and I'm just part of the gang, and just, you know, I'm like
it's
Peter Pan syndrome.
You got to be the fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, because you know the shit that goes down, the skating is just like on another level.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like skateboarding reinvents itself, and new things happen, and you know, it just, I don't know. I just glad to be a part, and be here, and enjoy it.
Dude,
you know?
Exactly. That's like my thing too. Is like, I'm still part of it. I'm still here. Oh man, thank you.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's like a gift. It's like Peter Pan. We never want to grow up.
Yeah, forget that. Forget it.
Thanks for
thanks,
having
Joe.
me. You brought the sun out.
Joe Brook.
Tommy Guerrero.
Thank you for being here, sir.
Yeah, man, thank you.
For sharing your stories.
Did I overtalk?
Nah. Cool. Not even. It'll end up on the editing room floor.
Chop it good. Chop it good.